Hello and welcome to another indie game review video here for the Sanitarium.FM YouTube channel. I'm the predicted Cyborg, and today we are reviewing a game called Siegecraft Commanders, developed and published by the same studios, Blowfish Studios. Siegecraft Commanders is a strategy game, turn-based or real-time, depending on which levels you are playing. And like most sort of military strategy games, you have to build up a base to advance and destroy your enemies. The difference with this one is that for some reason you basically build your new units by launching them from your original units to build a sort of chain of units to spread across the map to be able to get range and distance and to basically close in on your opponents. Also to be able to spawn soldiers or aerial defense, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So this game comes with single player and multiplayer modes, and in a first for a game that we've reviewed, this game actually has VR capabilities. Yeah, this is a VR game. Unfortunately, I don't have a virtual reality headset, so I have just been reviewing the normal PC version, the single player version, because obviously I don't know anyone else who has this game. Anyway, the single player version comes with a campaign, and basically there are two different ways you can go through this. You can go through a campaign where you're fighting a corrupted tribe, or you can actually follow the adventures of a band of knights as they go around exploring looking for treasures. I'd recommend going for the latter, especially if this is the first time playing the game, because it does actually provide a tutorial. But yet, despite this, it doesn't actually say that it has any sort of tutorial in there, so yeah, this is a bit of advice because they don't put that information into the game for you. As I say, the way you play this game is basically you start off with one sort of central main keep or hub where you base everything off from, and then you build out from there, shooting out outposts and foundries and libraries and other kinds of units from your main hub or another outpost or something to continue to build your base further out and explore the land. Eventually you will come into contact with enemy units who will shoot back, and they also build in similar ways, and you need to basically destroy them to continue advancing further. Now there are actually some units you can shoot out that once you've done that, will actually shoot out other little special units. Like, for example, with the armory, once you've done that, you can choose to shoot out a mortar, which will take care of enemy ground troops that are coming for you. Or if you use the foundry, then you can use that to shoot out a barracks, which will then start spawning knight units for you. There's also two different resources to get in this game. You can find gold, or you can find crystal, which will enable you to do special things with them. Crystal will enable you to build an electronic shield, which, once placed, will mean any aerial units flying towards it will automatically be killed. However, it doesn't really do this against ground units. Ground units can actually bypass the shield and start wailing on it as they would any other building. If you're playing through the campaign with the actual story with the band of knights, then you will actually get some turn-based combat, or at least most of it will be turn-based, with a little bit of real-time. But if you go for the other campaign, it will be all real-time, so this is why I advise you go for the story and the band of knights first, because that way you will actually know how to play, and you'll have a little bit more leeway to learn how as well, as opposed to just throwing yourselves into a real-time game and just floundering like I did originally. So how do I find this as a game? It's a very creative concept for strategy games. I've not really seen any that require you to build out from your base in a sort of spider web, and there is actually an element of strategy to it. For example, if you're aiming for an enemy building that's a little way down the chain, like at a midpoint, if you destroy that, then any that have been built out from it will also be destroyed. So, you know, if you want to kill a whole bunch of buildings very, very quickly, that is pretty much a legitimate tactic. You just need to be able to get in there and aim well. Now, talking of aiming, that is where I have a little bit of a bugbear with this game. As I say, I do recommend you try out the Knight story first if you're trying this for the first time, but even by doing it that way, you can be a little bit confused about how to actually aim. It took me a good long while to get used to how to aim properly. I mean, once I got it down, it was easy, but the guidance that they give kind of makes it sound as if you have to do it one way, and then eventually you find out that yes, you do use the controls it said, but in a slightly different way that it didn't quite explain. One other thing I can notice about this game is that it has some of the strangest voice acting I've ever heard in any game.
You bumbling fool! You nearly killed us!
Hey, if it weren't for you sticking your fat arms in front of our faces, we wouldn't have crashed.
Yeah. Anyway, another thing I have to say about this game is it would probably be better if you could turn the camera. Maybe there is a way to turn the camera in this game that I haven't found, but there isn't. Then camera turning would make it so much easier to fight some of these battles because the battlefields are 3D and sometimes big rocks or mountains or other environmental factors will get in your way and shield what's going on, and sometimes aiming to the side, it's hard to judge the distance really. The game is currently available on Steam for £14.99 if you're in the UK and $19.99 if you are in the US. If you think that the game is worth that from the gameplay you are seeing and you enjoy RTS and turn-based strategy, then maybe this game is for you. I mean, it certainly looks wonderful, it plays really well, everything's nice and smooth, the sound design is quite good, bar the strange voice acting, and really it is a very good game. It's just probably not my kind of RTS, to be honest. And so that does it for another indie game review here for the Sanitarium.FM. I'm the Predictor Cyborg and I have been reviewing Siegecraft Commanders. Remember, stay tuned to this YouTube channel for more news reviews and more of the same. Join us in our Discord if you want to have a chat, and find us on our website at www.sanitarium.fm for the radio shows and articles. I'm the Predictor Cyborg once again, and I will see you for the next one.